Prophet Noble Drew Ali, honors to Brother Marcus Masagari. I'm member of More Science Simple America, divine prepared by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, past and present future leaders in all stations. Honors to all past leaders and stations of the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association. A man without nationality or culture is like a tree without roots. Islam. Today I'm going to unfold on Lessons in Life, Part 4. This is like the grand finale of what I'm about to speak about today, and there's a lot of discord that's going on, and it's been going on after the so-called civil rights movement and all this and all that. When so-called white power structure sees a need to cause havoc and thinking that this is their land and putting other people's lives in jeopardy, their health, their well-being, their education, and how they depict life as it's supposed to be, and it's truly not. When we take a side of the oppressor, we tend to lose sight of our own state of mind and our own well-being. We practicing a culture that does not belong to us. Therefore, it was made up to for us to be divided and fight amongst each other. And when we start learning things as a child growing up, we are easily compelled with so much information and being lied to with all these things, all these issues. And it takes a toll on our psyche. It takes a toll on how we feel about ourselves. Are we good enough? And this is what society and the powers that be dictates. Whatever the fashion is, the so-called Negro, blacks, and colors, Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, everybody, including Europeans who are just, who are, you know what I'm saying, who care for humanity, and they don't care about this so-called white power structure, and they're against the injustice. So when we understand the conditions that we all are, to a certain degree, are being subjected to the criminal state of mind of righteousness. So anytime we buck up against their rules and their statute limitations, their so-called laws, which is penal code, CVC codes, which is unconstitutional. And what it happens is we all be put in a pot and be cooked like gumbo. That's what Ice Cube said. Take them in a pot and cook them like gumbo. So basically, they're here to use us for their financial gain and for their lab rat demonstration. See what we're gonna do if we put these people in this type of community. Let's see what happens if we do this. And they're already been orchestrating that. They've been thinking about that for years. How they're gonna destroy the Moors. The Moorish people are the indigenous people, regardless. Now, we didn't have a problem during that time of the Crusades after the war to uplift Europe, the Iberian Peninsula. We didn't have a problem with that. But the thing is, look what we brought to humanity. And look how the Moorish people, such as myself at that time, you see that image of me right there, to show the people how to live. And everything that we done, and all the good humanitarian work that we have done, has all been torn up and forgotten, supposedly, allegedly. And when we see that that we are consuming something that's unhealthy for us, a farmer European diet, it tends to change the way we think and our self-esteem and how we view ourselves. And everything is based upon is chemical, and psychological. Chemical and psychological warfare is the one thing that will definitely divide a people. There are Europeans who are here who can't stand what these politicians are doing. These particular Europeans on the same side as the Moors. So we have nothing against them. I wouldn't be surprised if these Europeans who are just have Moorish in their bloodline. It wouldn't amaze me. And it's not because of their hair texture. No, it's because of the heart condition. There's a handful of Europeans I've met over the years that are just, and they'll go out of their way to assist. They're returning the love back to the Asiatic so-called black people. You know what I'm saying? They be quick to jump into the fight too, to fight against the other European unjustly ones. Praise Allah for them. But when we are children growing up, we see that this person looks different. We don't look at that and say, oh, they're different. They got straight hair, they got pale skin, they got blonde hair. No, we're not going to be their friend. No, that's not how children think. The good ones. Children say, oh, I want to be his friend. And then guess what? We end up being friends. We end up talking. We end up hanging out with each other. You know, it's an instant thing because Allah binds hearts and minds. Now, when we understand conditions and circumstances and situations, and as we get older, we understand that we have a play day, not a play date, a play day. You know, moms and pops, they meet up with other moms and pops, and then we all sit and talk, and you know, the children go play and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This is how life was for me. You know, but growing up in a city where it's a whole bunch of diversity, you tend to lose sight of what's really going on and why certain things happen the way it does and why we react the way we do. If we're going to defend our family member, we're going to do it no questions asked, hands down. But when we have a friend who is genuine, who don't like that other person in class or whatever, then we begin to understand that we have a strong connection. We like the same things. We like the same food. We like to eat pizza, you know, vegetarian or chicken pineapple. You know what I mean? Things like that. Or pepperoni. Whatever your mind state is at that time. And the more you bond in relations, the better you can get information from your people. Islam too, JT, Titan, Islam, peace and love, Islam. So I have multiple people I have met who are genuine, who are dear to my heart. And will I ever see them again? Allah is the best of planners. But at the end of the day, it's all about right and wrong. If you've been doing business with this particular person or group of two people or whatever, and you guys happen to have the same common interest, you know what I'm saying? They loving your vibe, they feeling your vibe, they grow to love your personality. They grow to love who you are because of the character trait that you carry about yourself. Me, I'm a type of person, I love to make people laugh. You know what I'm saying? I love to see people happy. Misery Love Company, that got to go out the door. I don't like that. If a person's miserable, what does Allah tell me? If Allah that person, praise Allah. I'll do that. But if Allah tells me not to do it, let it go, leave it alone. Yeah, I'm going to listen to Allah, my higher self. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to let it go. But at the end of the day, as long as you are treating people the way you want to be treated, and you treat yourself according to a high pedestal of knowledge and information, and you want for your neighbor as you want for yourself. You covet what is not yours. I'm guilty as charged as far as certain things, but I'm quick to admit to it. But it's not called self-snitching. It's just telling on your lower self. Because as Asiatics, Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, so-called Negro, blacks, and colors, Islanders are all, you know what I'm saying, Asians are all Asiatic. And we all have a higher self and we all have a lower self. Now, if you was to say what a higher self, lower self is to certain people, they wouldn't even know what you're talking about. Not unless they're into that Egyptian mystic sciences or whatever, or they just not aware. They just live life and they don't have the proper source of education, the same as you have, and you don't have to sit here and belittle them because you have a higher information and knowledge and wisdom and understanding, and you're too good to teach them. You go away, I don't want to talk to you. What's that about? If a person asks, they shall receive. Depending on if it's good lessons to help uplift and teach, do the right thing, and making sure that these proper studies are valid, and making sure that we teach the people correctly according to the best of our knowledge and based upon the factual information. And if we're wrong as a teacher, you'd be like, oh, okay, I stand corrected. I'm wrong. See, that's where the maturity comes in, is the higher self. The higher self breeds love, mercy, justice, and right. The lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. Anything that is an abomination to the group of people and children, we tend to lose sight of who is watching us and who's going to mimic everything that we do, whether they're our children or they're not our children, or whether the youth, the young people, the young teenagers, high school or college, junior high, they look and they observe. They learn by what they see. So if you're not setting a good example, then how are the young people going to learn how to love instead of hate? And if young people watch and observe who you are and how you are, then all is truly well. We can go back and forth, yap on all these issues that's going on, but the issue starts with the mother and father. If the mother and father don't straighten out the issues before they have children, then the children are going to inherit those inconsistencies and those hatreds, slander, lewdness, and murder, stuff, and everything that harms. Whatever you think it, so it be. Whatever your great-grandparents and your grandparents are subjected to, then you're going to take up one of those traits too. Why? Because it's called genetics. Genetics is formulated in water, and that's where the brain sits. If you ever notice, the brain sits on the top of the eyes, over the eye, above the eyes, so to speak. The brain is never below or in the stomach area. No, it's on top, because this is the higher vibration of how you connect with your creator. So when we understand our condition, we understand how social behavior sciences work, then we tend to understand what we must do. You must know thyself. And when we know thyself, we understand what we can do and what blessings that Allah has blessed us upon to do as far as our mission, our task. Are we just doing it for our selfish self? These are questions you must ask yourself. Now, the show of Lesson of Life, it's going to be consistently short. Never I will go into detail because I understand people are not able to watch the full hour show, so to speak, and I have to be very mindful of what I speak to the young children about, because they are adhering to this information. And when we see where we're wrong at and where we stand, we have to announce it and let it be known. And these are things that we have to do. And once we understand and better our condition, then we have to start educating ourselves in other things. And once we do that, then all is well. Then we have to conquer other foes and other trials and tribulations and other inconsistencies within ourselves. Don't expect a spouse or your friend, your best friend, to control you. You are in control of yourself. You are in control of your own destiny. You're in control of your thinking. No one can do it for you. And then here we go. Here she goes. I need a man to handle me. No, you need to handle yourself. Stop. Stop with that. That's drama. You have no self-control, so how is somebody going to handle you? Do you know that you're exhausting someone else to babysit you because you have temper tantrums and you have these hatred, sudden rudeness, murder, theft, and everything at home? Someone to put you in check, you keep yourself in check. So you're expecting this person to be your daddy and you be the child? When are you going to grow up? When are you going to stop growing down? And when are you going to start warming up? Everybody has to be held accountable for their actions and what they think, but doesn't mean it's correct. Doesn't mean it's going to uplift, or is it going to degrade someone? These are things you must ask, right? So once we understand these conditions and these situations, then we have to take upon ourselves to make a speedy reparation. To all those out there who are listening, peace and love, Islam. You gotta do what's right. Do the right thing. Protect your family, protect yourself at all costs. Be careful who you call friend, your best friend, because you never know what their ulterior motive is. Here she go again saying, I know my best friend. No, you don't even know yourself. So once we tend to continue to better our condition through our thinking and be our own therapist, be our own preacher, and look at what we don't like about ourselves and change it. That's all you gotta do. There's nothing else but to do it. I don't know about Nike, but I just do it. So I would go 25 minutes, family, but I'm gonna cut this real short at the 20-something minute mark. And something for you guys to ponder on, to think on, and sons and daughters, don't disrespect your mother and father. When they tell you to do something, do it. If it don't fit with your reasoning, don't say nothing. Just do it. Be of assistance to your mother and father so that way you can uplift the fallen humanity. That's the best thing you can do. Nothing else. And once you are consistently bettering your condition, then your light will shine, family. But I gotta get going, family. I got other obligations I have to tend to right now. Islam, peace and love. Allah, the Father, the universe, the Father of love, should peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, my night and my day. Through His holy prophet, Drew Ali, Ameen, Islam. Today's gonna be a good day for y'all because 2 + 2 is 4. Islam.